sure we do the right thing. Okay, beautiful morning, amazing morning. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, Ward. Super excited to be here. Like my co-host, friend, or brother said, it's just got a new name called Super Excited. Well, I'm super duper popped up, excited to be here this morning. And I know maybe it's in the afternoon in your own time or region right now. Maybe it's in the night, maybe it's in the evening, maybe it's in the mid, like whatever time it is, from where you're watching us from. We want to welcome you to this morning edition of Wealth Secrets Mindset Mentorship Class. Ladies and gentlemen, we've been waxing stronger every day on this mentorship class, and super excited to be your host on this regular daily podcast program that we do, just to help you to have a better mindset. And we understand that you're good. We understand that you have everything working for you, but a little bit of how to have a different mind shift in the way your approaches to life, or the way you view life, or the way you do things, it's not going to be bad after all right? So, and that's what we committed in doing. We've been running this program for well over 5 months consecutively, and we kept getting stronger. The community is growing larger every single day. And with our daily or weekly teaching series, which we also started, I think, from the beginning of the year, it has also helped us to be able to go in depth into all the teachings that we do, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm excited that lives are changing. I'm excited that people are being, equipped in knowledge. People are, getting the right education. People are getting the right information that will help to position them mentally to live in the best of their life. And, that is what this program is all about, how to help you have the necessary resources and information that will empower you mentally to live the best of your life. All right, so let's get into today's teaching. And we started the teaching series, or the weekly teaching series, as the case is, on teaching about the topic, we call it the hot topic, enemies of the mind. Enemies of the mind can also be, seen as the attitude of diseases. All right. So enemies of the mind are the things that kind of want to make you lose focus in your pursuit of greatness, in your pursuit of success, and the things you want to do. The enemies of the mind are the things that is going to cost you your life. It's going to cost you your income. It's going to cost you your health. It's going to cost you your marriage. It's going to cost you everything that matters to you. And that is the reason why the earlier you're able to understand and identify with these things, the better it's going to be for you. All right. So yesterday we started evaluating about 3 different, mental enemies, right? So this morning we're going to be, going deeper, right? As we're going to be going deeper, I will be, during the course of the week, evaluate about 7 of them again, in addition to what we shared yesterday. So today we're going to be looking at, 7 of them, but not today, but just know that, it's something that will keep coming every single day to run us through the week. And I know Coach Dan also got something for us to look into. So this morning, I'm going to be talking about what I call enemies of the mind. Of course, we call it's more like an attitude of diseases, which is known to be a very deadly thing. You must understand that this is deadly. It's as real as the life you live in. It's as real as the way you breathe. All right. This is deadly. So anything that is deadly, you have to put some measures on how to attack him, on how to deal with him. Anything that is deadly is like it can take your life without you knowing. And when we mean life is, life change. Life is maybe your finances. Life is everything that, makes life a meaning to you. All right. So how do you deal with this? You need to understand that these things are not like it's just coming to some few persons. The way the good God designed the earth, it makes it known to us that it is normal. The moment you understand that this is normal, that is where you begin to scale through these things. Understand first that these things are normal, and they are normal and they are part of the life we live in it. And you need to understand that just like the way we look at things in the other way, which we call negative, all right? Negative are normal. Some of us, we just hope to get the best. In my, present business, I shared with people on how people be trying to write down about this business, like why you shouldn't go into online businesses. Why, you will see negative. Negative are normal. It's not, I'm not saying they are successful, but they are normal. It's not going to help you, but somehow those negative is more like, somebody putting up something and say, I need a feedback. And on this program, we tell people, give us feedback. We don't mind what you say, all right? But we're going to get better. Note that negative is normal. It's part of life. And without negative, you're not going to grow into greatness. Without negative, you're not going to grow into the best of your potential. Without negative, you're not going to grow into the best of your ability. Don't expect things to just go smoothly. Don't expect things to just run the right way. Like it's just going to be the way you want it to be. No, it's normal. Now I checked something. You think a lot of people have written things about me too. A lot of people have written things about you. Will that stop you? If you allow those things to stop you, that means you are a quitter. That means you're not ready for the race of life. That means you're not ready to be successful. All right. So understand that negative is normal. So you have to learn how to handle that negative. Learn how to handle those negative. The earlier you're able to start learning how to handle those negative, the better and the more smarter you will become eventually. So when you have learned how to learn, it is called the great war between good and bad. All right, you can call it good and evil. It's just like you're thinking everything you got to fight for it. Everything you got to, you have to be able to say it's not. In fact, if it's been successful is just easy, everybody would have been. I mean, you've had it from me or every time, most times on this program. So it's like when you're fighting a war, you're fighting for your life. You're fighting to gain dominance over the issues of life. One of my mentors call it the great war between good and evil. So what is this good and evil? Anything that is evil, all right? And everything that is good is good. So when you look at good and evil, it is something, a perfect illustration on what we are discussing about negative and good, all right, about negativity and good comment. So in the you can also look at it in this in this context that in the absence of light, what comes in, ladies and gentlemen, is darkness. In the absence of light, what comes in is darkness. So you keep that light shining. How do you keep those lights shining? Is to start identifying those those enemies of the mind, those things that start to be as diseases of attitude, those things that could cost you down, those negativities, those things that will want to deprive you or something that you don't. And let me tell you something you don't understand is these are just mental, mental. You mentally make it up. That is why is the simple way to explain to you. It's just something you preempt in your mind. Sometimes they are not real. Sometimes they pretend to be real. Sometimes people push it to you to make you believe that it is real. Know that if you tell me, in fact, I came through from some of the things that people said about me, wrote about me. In fact, they shared videos of some crappy things last year. I said, Afolabi, hey, you did this, you did that. Like you're not good enough. You don't have what it takes. You just like. And I don't let those things. At first, I'm human. It got to me. But I started looking at it in a different perspective. And that's why we're telling you, because we teach from life experiences. We teach from the things that we've gone through. And that's why we can tell you that you need to prepare yourself. And to prepare yourself is that you're not going to be able to stay and just allow those things to keep you down. Don't allow those comments to keep you down. Don't allow those negativity of people to keep you down. Knows that evil is never matched for good. That is how God has designed it. find it. Evil is no match for good, you know, and to know that, you have to do whatever it takes to keep being, you know, in the shiny part of life. You have to maintain the fact that, you know, I'm going to get going notwithstanding. I'm going to get going regardless of what anybody say to me, because it is the promise of God for my life that is going to make manifest. I am a light that is set, or I'm a city that is set upon the hill that cannot be hidden. Whatever anybody say to you shouldn't matter, ladies and gentlemen. So I will quickly talk about neglect. Neglect is one of them. It's not like I'll just quickly talk about neglect, because people really understand that, you know, we go through neglect. Like we call neglect, a week of neglect can cost you a year of repair. So stop neglecting the things which we call ignorance. You've been ignorant of things. You know, that if there's a, you know, like if there is something you need to do to help you gain mastery, and I think I talked about this yesterday, you have to pick it up. Don't neglect. Don't neglect and say, you know what, I will just take a week to rest over something. And, you know, after I went, you know, if it is the way, and I give you an illustration of how God created the world. You remember, God on the first day, he worked for like 6 days. The first day, you know, he created the world, you know, earth and, you know, and the heavens, everything. He used one day. And on the 7th day, God rested. It means that you don't have to rest for too long. Don't rest too long on your goal. God rested for 1 day. 1 day, ladies and gentlemen. I want you to ponder over this. Just 1 day. So how would you not take a whole day to rest? Remember, if in the absence of life, darkness is going to come in. So you better protect what you've got. Protect your virtue. Protect your, you know, the value, you know, protect the things that you've got. If there is, you know, anything that is worth doing, is worth doing well, ladies and gentlemen. So when we talk about neglect, neglect is something that could cost you everything. And we say, please don't rest too long. Keep up the good work you're doing. Keep up what you're doing. Nobody's going to encourage you like you. So number one, all right, you can see it's a whole lot we need to talk about. So number one, as we wrap up on this program to start, you know, checking on the rest, like I have 7 of them for you. Number one is indifference. How do you feel about yourself? Indifference, we call it the mild approach to life. The mild approach to life. When we say mild approach to life, we're talking about, you know, there is a disease in itself, a disease known as madness. And, you know, that disease, if you check in the dictionary, it means lack of intensity or lack of aggressiveness, all right? Lack of intensity or lack of aggressiveness. So indifference is what makes you feel like you don't have the energy, the intensity to push on, to move on. And like we say, it's a mild approach to life. You're not willing to give in everything. Ladies and gentlemen, don't do less if you want to go into anything. Give it your best. Give it all that you've got into God, everything that you want, all right? Give it everything. You know, to be a winner, you have got to keep up the work. You're not going to stop, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to stop to achieve that greatness in life. To be a winner, you have to get to work yourself up. You say, man, I'm going to get worked up. You have to get worked up. You know that nothing good comes easy. Everything of value always comes with a cost. You have to be willing to pay the price. You don't wish things were easy, wish you were better. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more skills. That's the way it is. So don't think that, you know, it's just going to be easy. So you have to tell yourself, how do you go about it? You have to begin from where you are. Pick up a new direction and go with everything you have got. What is that new direction? If there's a business you want to do right now, don't do less, do more. Remember, reality principle states that if you want to be successful in this area, you said, find out what other successful people have done. He said, do it over and over until you get the same result. All right. So make sure as you're picking up that new direction, as you're picking up that new adventure, as you're picking up that new business, as you're picking up that new academics or new relationship, whatever you think, you know, economic things, you know, social things, whatever thing of value to you, as you're picking it up, ladies and gentlemen, make sure that you have to give it everything you've got into it. And what if somebody say, Afolabi, what if it just go the wrong direction? Tell you something, going the wrong direction is part of those mistakes that you're going to go through. You see, because you have preempt this in your mind. What if it goes the wrong direction? Let me tell you how you're going to do. You will find out quicker. That's why you find out quicker, because the best way to find out quicker is to learn from your mistakes. So don't expect that things are just going to be right. Make sure you give in everything. Pick up anything you want to do. Have it in your mind. Like I said, don't be a follower, be a student. And make sure that everything you do has to come as a result of the product of your own personal conclusion in life. So it means that as you have concluded within you to start a new adventure, to pick up a new challenge, to pick up a new direction for yourself, knows that you got to give it everything. And don't be afraid. If anything go wrong, it means that you have learned a lesson. All right? Don't think that, oh man, I'm going to look at it. So if it goes wrong, the question is, what have you learned? So you find out quicker. To find out quicker is that, what have I learned? For every mistake, have I learned something? Have I been able to achieve something from it? That is how I do my things. So when I go into something that doesn't work for me, I quickly think of, what have I learned from it? All right. What have I been able to, understand from my mistakes? What have I been able to grab from this thing? So the moment you're able to have that, it's going to help you quicker to gain mastery over this thing. So, all right, indifference is something you need to deal with. And that is what we're talking about this morning. So I'm able, in conclusion this morning, rather, so I said the next best to prosperity, you need to know that is also adversity. All right. The next best to prosperity is adversity. If there's no adversity, there's no prosperity, adversity is going to come in. All right. But this is what I put it. I said, we do better for one reason, either for inspiration or desperation. You have to be inspired. Nobody's going to inspire you, ladies and gentlemen. I talked about this yesterday. Or you've been desperate to do it. So we do better for one reason. You either get inspired, or you go into desperation. Desperation can lead you into crappy things. Desperation is what is going to let evil take over the good that you have planned and preempt in your mind. Ladies and gentlemen, to stop or to round up this morning, I said the strong feeling is check of inspiration. Strong feeling is a check of inspiration. So it is from me, you're not going to get that anywhere. Strong feeling is a check of inspiration. When you feel really inspired about something, you feel really inspired, because I tell somebody, and most of the people I work with in every of my business is your willingness to drive, your willingness to do something. I want to check you. I want to look at you if you have the right willingness, the right feelings, because you may not know it. You may not be experiencing it, but if you have the right inspiration, if you're inspired and you are right feeling, I can tell you it's a strong check that you're going to be successful in that thing. So always go out into things you're doing. Don't let indifference cost you. Don't let indifference, keep you down. Don't let indifference deny you of the best God has put into you. So I tell you, in wrapping up this morning, I say, learn to put everything you have got into everything that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, again, I hope you got value for your time this morning. And I hope I've been able to reach out to you. And I hope you've been able to learn something, not to allow indifference, which we call the mind approach to life. Remember, mildness is seen to be a lack of aggressiveness or lack of intensity. All right, be aggressive about what you're doing and learn to put everything you've got into everything that you do. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your regular host on this program, Dr. Afolabi Olatunji, and I hope you've got value for your time this morning. I want you to go out there, be aggressive about your life, be aggressive about your goal, be aggressive about your new adventure or by your new discipline. And guess what? That is how you gain, mastery over those attitudes of this day. Knows that they are normal. You're not going to go through this stuff when you're still living on this planet. You have to go through it. All right. Don't